Good morning. I'm Hassan Giordano, and this is your DMV Daily Dose for Wednesday, February 5th, 2020.
It's currently cloudy and 41 degrees in Baltimore. Expect rain starting tonight. Temperatures will be fairly consistent, averaging about 39 degrees.
Well, there's a new Democratic nominee who is set to fill out the remaining term of former Congressman Elijah Cummings in his 7th congressional district seat. Only the name isn't so new, because he was the man who handed Cummings the seat when he left to take over the NAACP over 20 years ago. And his name is Congressman Kweisi Mfume. The 71-year-old Mfume, a close personal friend of this reporter, and the candidate the DMV Daily News endorsed in the race, easily topped a field of 24 Democrats last night to advance to an April 28th special general election where he will face off against the Republican nominee, Kimberly Klacik, who made her name known last year after criticizing the 7th District and Congressman Cummings, which went viral and led to President Donald Trump chiming in, as well as calling Baltimore City filthy and rat-infested. And with all the precincts reporting almost this morning, Mfume received 43% of the overall vote, a little over 17,000 votes, a lion's share of which came from Baltimore City, which was more than double of what he received in Baltimore County and more than 5 times of what he brought in over in Howard County. But it was more than 3 times that of many of his competitors, and more than his 3 closest competitors combined, including Delegate Terry Hill, Maya Rocky Moore Cummings, and Senator Jill Carter, which speaks volumes to his turnout. Now, speaking of elections, the Chicago Tribune is reporting that more than 24 hours after Iowa Democrats turned out the caucus, the incomplete results from the gap-filled counting of preferences in the nation's first presidential contest showed former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg continuing to hold a narrow lead. With 71% of the state's nearly 1,700 precincts reporting late Tuesday evening, Buttigieg's lead held steady with 26.8% of delegate support, followed by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders with 25.2%, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren with 18.4%, former Vice President Joe Biden with 15.4%, and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar with 12.6%. Now, the results, based on the percentage of Iowa's 41 national nominating convention delegates, were virtually unchanged from results released early Tuesday, with 62% of the precincts reporting. Now, with all the candidates holding the same positions, the race remains too close to call. The numbers were not final and no official winner has been declared, nor did Iowa Democratic officials say when they would finalize the count. Maryland Matters is reporting on President Donald Trump, who delivered his third and possibly final State of the Union address last night on the floor of the United States House, where he was impeached in December. And the partisan mood that has gripped Washington throughout the impeachment proceedings was on stark display throughout the annual speech by the president to both chambers of Congress. Democrats, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, sat soberly throughout most of Trump's speech, some looking down and others just shaking their heads in dismay as the president touted his administration's first 3 years in office. The House impeachment managers were seated prominently and together, which was intended as a reminder of the as-yet unfinished impeachment trial against the president, who was expected to be acquitted by the Senate on Wednesday, today. Now, Trump did not mention his impeachment during his speech. For Trump, the event amounted to a pitch for his re-election. He was greeted with chants of 4 more years by congressional Republicans before he even began speaking. And to hear Trump tell it, the state of our union is stronger than ever before. However, Democrats such as Congressman and House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, Democrat from right here in Maryland who represents the 5th District, said, for now, the state of our union is strong, even if the state of this presidency is one of crisis and corruption. And Speaker Pelosi, who represents California but was born and raised here in the city of Baltimore, showed that Charm City grit when following Trump's remarks in full view of the cameras trained on the president, tore up her copy of Trump's speech. She told reporters afterwards that it was the courteous thing to do, considering the alternative. Well, the Baltimore Brew's Mark Ruder is reporting that during 6 terms as Baltimore City Comptroller, a period which stretches back to the mid-1990s, Joan Pratt has owned and operated her own accounting firm, Joan M. Pratt CPA and Associates. How often her clients may have conducted business with the city has long been a matter of conjecture. However, new financial disclosure rules passed by the Baltimore City Council in December following the corruption conviction of former Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh offers some clarity. Yesterday, Pratt offered a preliminary answer to the question of what persons doing business with the city paid her company $1,000 or more in calendar year 2019. The answer? 2 liquor outlets, she reported in a sworn statement filed with the City Ethics Board. Starlight Lounge, located at Franklintown Road and Fairmount Avenue in West Baltimore, paid Pratt's company $1,500, while Nagash Incorporated, owners of the Bayview Liquors on Eastern Avenue, paid about $1,225. Her disclosure, however, came with this caveat: reserve the ability to update this final disclosure with new information if necessary. I will immediately amend this filing to include any new information that is discovered, Pratt put on the document. Her disclosure statement also helps clear up the disposition of a Too Cheap boutique, a designer clothes consignment shop that she co-owned with the disgraced former Mayor Pugh and 2 others. Pratt's accounting firm served as a limited partner in the Pigtown shop with 22% interest compared to 60% held by the former mayor. Now, Pratt reports that articles of dissolution were filed by the company on April 24, 2019, or 1 day before FBI and IRS agents raided the home and City Hall offices of Mayor Pugh. How convenient. With an expected Terps victory Tuesday night, fans were looking forward to a matchup between a pair of Big Ten men's basketball leaders when number 9 Maryland visited number 20 Illinois on Friday night. They got their wish, barely, as the Terps eked out their 5th straight win against the Scarlet Knights, improving to 18-4 overall and 8-3 in the league. The Terps will meet Illinois on Friday at 8 p.m., and number 16 Michigan State, which had entered the night in a tie for first place, lost at home last night 75-70 to number 22 Penn State, leaving the Terps in a prime position to take sole possession of first place in the Big Ten with a win on Friday night. And Maryland Governor Larry Hogan will give his State of the State address later today at noon down in Annapolis as he looks to discuss crime across the state, especially here in the city of Baltimore, and how his administration is looking to tackle that issue with what seems to be more lock 'em up and throw away the key mandatory sentencing initiatives. Typical Republican rhetoric when addressing crime instead of doing the hard work and aiming to fix the systemic root problems of crime, such as poverty and massive unemployment. But we will report on what came out of his speech later today in tomorrow's Daily Dose. I'm your man, Mr. Politics, and this has been your DMV Daily Dose for Wednesday, February 5th, 2020. For more information on the articles that I've mentioned, just going over to that website, www.dmvdaily.news.